How do we feel about perimenopause periods? All right, show of hands. How many of you have Googled either perimenopause periods or what is a normal period during perimenopause? Because I definitely have. Oh, is there such a thing as normal during this time? Welcome to The Feminine Duality, a podcast for midlife women where we heal from burnout and we learn how to take charge of our crazy time again. My wonderful mom sent me some tea from Sweden, and this is just the most beautiful green tea. Can you add scent to video nowadays? I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Oh, this is definitely going to make me feel a little more comforted at the moment. I feel rough today. In previous episodes of The Feminine Duality, I think I have only done one on perimenopause, and that was a more general why I think we need to talk about it. And then I have done several episodes on healing and recovering from burnout, because I love to help women with. I have gone through it twice myself, and I have a lot of tools for dealing with it. The other thing that I've spent a lot of episodes, and I'm going to spend a lot more, is talking about how do you plan and manage time in a way that is kind to your central nervous system? When I tell people about the feminine duality, what the podcast is about, I say that the feminine duality is about midlife, burnout, and crazy time management, which always gets a rather quizzical look. It makes sense to me. But effectively, here's my life. I work full-time as a store assistant at Aldi at the moment. That means that I work shifts, so I can start at 5 a.m. and work 10 hours, or I can start at midday and work 10 hours or even slightly longer, because we don't actually get to leave when the shop is closed, we get to leave when we're done. And my shifts, they change every week. It never looks the same. I'm divorced and I co-parent my 2 children, one of whom has severe disabilities and very complex medical needs. She comes with a lot of admin, she comes with a lot of hospital stays. She was in hospital last week, completely unexpected, but we ended up being in for 3 nights. Apparently she needed the attention or something, I don't know. I also have a very able-bodied child as well, her little sister, who comes with everything that a 9-year-old girl needs, which is very different to what a severely disabled 12-year-old needs. I run a YouTube channel about life with a special needs child. That YouTube channel is called Parent XP, and you're more than welcome to check it out if you just want to see our day-to-day life. It's very unpolished and I love doing it. And then I run The Feminine Duality, and this is what I mean about crazy time. If there's anything I know about, it's crazy time management. And I do that without burning out. For the last 2 days, I have done nothing. Well, I've done my Aldi shifts, but I've not done any work for Parent XP. I've not done any work for The Feminine Duality. Would you like me to adjust my legs to create a bit more comfortable bed for you, my girl? If you're watching this on video, you can see that my cat Luca has, as always, come to join us. Yeah, for the last couple of days, I've done my Aldi shifts and I've done an awful lot of what I refer to as Elin admin. Elin is my disabled daughter. And I have spoken to multiple hospitals, multiple doctors, multiple nurses, arranging multiple things. And it's still going on, and I've got errands I need to run for her tomorrow to pick up a medicine that she needs at the moment. And it just doesn't stop. But apart from that, no, I've not touched either Parent XP or The Feminine Duality, because I've not been in a good headspace. I've been feeling very sorry for myself. And I'm not entirely sure why I've been feeling like this. One reason could be that the Grim Reaper has been rather greedy of late. There's been some big losses, and you can't just shake that off. I think you need to allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to react a bit, and slow down a little. Another reason could very well be this unplanned 3 nights in hospital with my daughter. You don't sleep very well in hospital, it's exhausting, and yeah, just yeah. Or another reason could be that I am currently having the worst period I have seen in a year. And so I thought, you know what, it's time to dust myself off. It's time to come back to The Feminine Duality, do a bit of work for it, get a podcast episode out. So why not talk about periods? What are the results you get on Google when you search for perimenopause periods or what is normal for perimenopause periods? Everything's normal. Anything can happen. Okay, so I am talking to those of us who get our periods and get them naturally. I I'm on hormone replacement therapy, and I have been for 3 years now. So I think that my cycles are a little bit affected by my hormone replacement therapy. I'm also finding it very difficult to find any concrete information on, does hormone replacement therapy prolong your periods, as in keep you having them for longer? Some people say no and some people say yes. But then if my hormone replacement therapy was really affecting my period, I think it would be more regular and predictable than it is. But okay, so what is normal? It is normal for your periods to come further apart than they used to. It is normal for your periods to come closer together than they used to. So longer cycle, normal. Shorter cycle, normal. Unchanged cycle, I've not actually seen anybody saying that having an unchanged cycle is normal, but I'm gonna guess that for some of you, you just keep going regular as clockwork, and I envy you ladies, alright? Longer and heavier periods, normal. Shorter and lighter periods, normal. Why is there no textbook in this? Why don't we all just function the same? And when do they actually stop? When is your actual menopause? Because menopause is 1 day, which is funny because menopause is the one we've heard about. People talk about menopause, oh, menopausal woman, which is a bit of a slur, isn't it? But the actual menopause marks 1 day, and that's the 1 day that is 12 months after your last period. Before that, you're perimenopausal. After that, you're postmenopausal. But menopause, the big word, is 1 day. Where was I? When is menopause? In the UK and in many Western countries, the average age for menopause, so that 1 day, 12 months after your last period, is 51. But it's perfectly normal for that to happen between 45 and 55. And it definitely can happen earlier. You can have very early onset menopause even in your 20s. You can have a late menopause, so you keep having your periods well into your late 50s, even into your 60s. Obviously, if it's very late, get some medical advice. And if it's very early, the same. But you can't really know. When your mum had it, that could be a good indicator, but I asked my mum and she went, I don't know, 52, I think, something like that. I can't really remember. So like, thanks mum, helpful. You didn't keep notes of this. What kind of a woman are you? Of course, when my mum went through it, we were definitely not talking about menopause, because that would have been just as that big study that demonized hormone replacement therapy came out, which has now been disproven in many and various ways. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, 51. I have heard that if you have babies later in life, that will delay your menopause. And I have heard that if you have babies later in life, that will make your menopause happen sooner. I had my last baby at 40. And I mean, that was an interesting hormonal roller coaster, because I first had the hormone crazes of going through IVF treatment. And then I had the hormone crazes of being pregnant, and then I had the hormone crazes of being postpartum, and I went straight from postpartum into perimenopause. So, I cannot remember what a normal cycle feels like. And I really did hope that at 49, I was going to start to see my periods coming a bit further apart. I was kind of hoping that I would skip a cycle or two by now, but no. Oh no, I am one of these women whose cycles have become shorter, much shorter. And they're not even regular. It's not like they are always 25 days. They slide a lot. If I look back at the last year and a half, I've got my period trackers with me here from the last year and a half. My shortest cycle is the one that I'm having my period for now. 19 days. 19! That is not fair. Seriously, come on. I did not ask for a 19-day cycle. Oh, and the longest 31 days. That's 12 days difference in cycle length in the last year and a half. Actually, even if I just look at the last 6 months, it's 30 days to 19 days. So 11 days difference in cycle length. One of the reasons I am turning to Dr. Google and asking about what's normal for perimenopause periods is because I want to know. I would love to have a crystal ball that will say, your periods will stop at, and then I know how much longer I've got to go, because I am seriously fed up with it. I know you are too. I was womaning the self-service checkouts at Aldi one day, and a customer came down and she had a trolley full of shopping, but she just held up a packet of sanitary pads and she went, I'm just going to pay for these, go to the toilet, and then I'm coming back because perimenopause. And I was like, honey, you do you, leave your shopping here, we're all good. Okay, I get it. She was not prepared for this that particular day. Okay, perimenopause. Oh my God, what's it doing to us? this apparently too is also normal. That it can be really however long it feels like that particular cycle. There is no predicting it. I mean, there's one thing kind of predicting it, and that would be PMS. But actually this cycle, this 19-day cycle, I didn't have PMS. I had no warning. I just suddenly had period pain. And I was like, that's a bit weird. It's not time for that yet. Oh, okay, apparently it is. Right, thank you for that. And the cycle before, I had probably the worst PMS I've had in the last year. And I had PMS for a week. I was like a pressure cooker about to blow. I was so stressed out. I was really fragile. Anything happening seemed too big to handle for a week. My brain fog, oh my God. With the hormone replacement therapy, my brain fog has gotten so much better. But that week, my funniest brain fog moment that week was, apart from sharing custody of our children, my ex-husband and I also share custody of our cars. It makes sense for us. We have a wheelchair van for our oldest daughter, obviously. She's in a wheelchair. We just wheel her straight into the van, attach the wheelchair, and she stays seated in that. So whoever has her has the wheelchair van. And then obviously the person who doesn't have her gets to have the little runaround. Honda Jazz, lovely car, 21 years old and held together with road dust and hope. I love her. So we share custody of the cars. But I only have one key for the Honda. So we need to remember to swap the key over. And this particular day, I had to travel into London. I had an appointment there, and that appointment in itself was really stressing me out. There's a lot of factors around it that I found very, very difficult to deal with that particular week. And so I dropped my kids off at their dad's, and I was under a very strict time plan of getting home, parking up, grabbing my stuff, getting to the train station and getting on the train that I had booked a ticket for. And halfway through the drive home, driving the Honda, the car we only have one car key for, I have a sudden absolute panic. Oh my God, did he give me the key to the car? The car I was driving. That was the level of brain fog I reached that week. And I've had some glorious brain fog moments to do with the car key. About 4 years ago, I had a month where I lost my car key between unlocking the car and sitting down 6 times in 1 month. That's ridiculous. And my personal favourite from that time was the day that I lost the car key between parking and getting out of the car. Like, that should not even be possible, but I managed it somehow. Car keys, it seems to be my big brain fog thing. I have other brain fog things as well, but that, apparently, there's a theme. There's a theme to this. I wonder what Freud would say about it. Yeah, that was a fun week. But the PMS can be a good indicator that your period is about to come. But as I say, I don't always have PMS. When I realised that I was perimenopausal, like properly, it was landing with me that this wasn't just exhaustion and pain from the stresses of being a special needs mom, but this had something to do with my hormones. My PMS back then was that I had to have another baby. I became so broody the week before my period. I had to have another baby. And I mean, I don't want any other babies. I'm absolutely more than certain that my second child is my last child. Even then, I had her at 40. I was not going to put my body through that again. But for 1 week, every cycle, I had to have more babies. All the babies. Give me the babies. Now, I must be pregnant. I must breastfeed. I hated being pregnant. I hated every second of being pregnant with both of my pregnancies. Worst thing ever. And recovering from being pregnant, I mean, it took 3 years before I actually felt vaguely human again after having had my children. All the other weeks in my cycle, I felt completely sane. But a few days before my periods, I had to have more babies. Another PMS symptom I had back then as well was I was convinced that nobody loved me. Absolutely nobody in the world appreciated me, loved me, liked me, wanted anything to do with me. It was very, very upsetting. Back then I described it as having thoughts that weren't my own. Like, my biggest PMS symptom was having thoughts that were not my own. And I was really disconcerting. And starting the hormone replacement therapy actually completely dealt with that. I don't feel unlovable and unloved now. I definitely don't want any more babies. We are so done. Shop is closed. Which is another reason I would love for my periods to stop, right? I would really like that very clear sign from my body that we are done with babies. That part of our life is over. Even though, like, mentally I am done having babies, but I would like for my body to physically catch up and say, we are done having babies. We are no longer fertile. We are not doing this. But I do think that PMS on steroids is quite a common perimenopause symptom and apparently perfectly normal, like everything is. If there's one good thing I can say about my periods, it is that they have become a lot shorter and a lot lighter. At the start of my perimenopause journey, I had really, really heavy ones with clots and leaking and bleeding for several days. But that, in the last year or so, that has settled down, and most of them only last for 2 days. And that is something I'm grateful for. If they're going to keep coming, they can stick to being 2 days long. Right now I'm on day 4 and I'm still bleeding quite heavily. So, this is why this is the worst period I have seen in a year, is the cycle was so short and I'm bleeding a lot this time around that I'm not used to. Both of these things, again, are completely normal for perimenopause periods. It can either be really heavy bleeding or it can be really light. The period can go on for up to 10 days or it can be just a day or two. Also, perfectly normal. I mean, what are we going to do? We can't win, can we? I'd love it if you would share with me, and not just with me, but with everybody who's listening to this, if you feel comfortable sharing what's going on with your cycle now in perimenopause. Just so we can get a little bit of recognition, a little bit of, yeah, that's me too. All right, cool, I get you. Especially if you are watching this podcast as a video on YouTube, because you have a whole lovely comment field there, but I know that you can also leave comments in Spotify. And while we're on that note, please subscribe, please follow, please leave a review, all depending on which platform you are accessing the Feminine Duality podcast on. It does help. The more that these platforms know that people like and appreciate the content, the more they will push it out to other people. And I really want to reach every single woman who needs to listen to me rambling on about random things. Well, they're not random. They are actually very structured. But perimenopause, burnout, and crazy time management, right? Nervous system friendly planning and organizational frameworks is what I do. Oh, and another thing I do is I have just closed a competition that I ran. And this competition was exclusively for podcast listeners and email subscribers, where I gave away a one-to-one session with me. And that is a time and sanity clarity session. So for one person to win a chance to sit down and talk to me about everything that overwhelms them, that they've got going on in life, that they can't quite handle, and they don't know where to start. I have all of this stuff, but I can't deal with all of it. So now what do I do? Because I'm not capable myself of seeing what is the most effective thing to work on, right? And that's where I come in, because I can see it, because I'm sitting outside and I can listen to you and I can hear what you say, and more importantly, I can hear the things you don't say, and I can go, right, here, hone in on this one. I drew the winner today as I'm recording this podcast, not as I'm posting it, obviously, and I'm super excited. Marie, we're going to have so much fun, you and I, in this session. I can't wait to talk to you. Congratulations, Marie. And for anyone who is too late to enter that competition, you can still get on my email list, link in the description. So make sure you get on that email list and you will get semi-regular emails from me where I delve much deeper into these things that I do and how I do them, and give a little additional extra tools and techniques, and you get to actually look inside my bullet journal and see how I actually draw up my planning system in person and how I work with it. And you will even get, it might become a podcast one day, I don't know yet, but it will definitely become an email one day, the story about my grandmother who at 50 decided she was never again going to say no to anything. Which actually, plot twist, meant that she said no to a heck of a lot of things, but she said yes to the things that lit her up, and no to the things that a woman of her time and her age should most definitely be doing in order to behave. She went, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go and do this instead. But do join my email list and you will get to read that story in full. But we were talking about periods. Did I go off on a tangent? I think I did a bit. Right, periods. Let's bring it back. So, what have we learned so far? We have learned so far that practically everything is normal. And I think we have learned so far that practically everything is irritating. So, can I give you some practical tips to deal with these bloody things, pun intended? First of all, track your periods. Okay, that probably is the most important thing I can say, is track your periods. Whether you want to do that in an app on your phone or whether you want to do that on paper. If you're watching on video, I'm about to show you my period tracker. I hope it will amuse you. It looks like this. And yes, that says, oh bloody hell. If you are not watching this on video, you can always visit my Instagram page. I will be posting it on there. But I literally have the months and the dates, and then I just make a little mark on the date that the period starts and for how many days it goes on for. And in the margin, I'm writing how long the cycle is and how long the period's lasting. Why should you be doing this? Well, it will help you spot changes. And if you have any sudden severe changes in your periods, you should go and speak to a doctor about it. But also having this data, it helps if you are seeing a women's health specialist about hormone replacement therapy or just want to talk to somebody about it. And also, how will you know when that big magical menopause day is if you don't know when your last period was, right? So I track my periods in this. I don't like doing it on the phone. I feel I get better overview if I do it on paper. Whether you're tracking it on phone or tracking it on paper, you can have a little symptoms tracker with it, and you can start seeing patterns in your mood and your behavior, all of these wonderful PMS symptoms, maybe even other perimenopause symptoms. My night sweats get worse in the days before my period. But even if it is the hindsight of, oh crap, this cycle only ended up being 19 days long, it is a bit reassuring to track it and see it. I seriously recommend investing in good period pants. On heavy flow days, I double up and I use my period cup and my period pants. I've been going back and forth with myself on whether to change from a period cup to a period disc. And then I'm thinking, I can't really have that many more periods left in me, so do I really want to do that? And so I keep using the cup because it's right there. But yeah, doubling up is definitely the way forward for these bad boys, for these bad girls. We can't possibly call a period a boy, right? Even if it is as annoying. Another advice I have for managing your periods is be conscious of what your body's telling you and allow yourself to slow down. I mean, I'm sitting here podcasting in sweats and I have a red mark on my face from where I was lying on my hand having a nap between work and turning the camera on, right? I need to feel comfortable today. I just need to feel comfy, and I needed that nap. It's accepting that these are days when you're not going to be at your best. You're not going to be at your strongest, either physically or mentally. You're not going to be at your happiest. And that's okay. You're allowed to have cycles. You are woman. I am woman, hear me roar. Especially the week before my period, right? And slow down. The last couple of days, I could really have done with posting on my social media for both of my channels. I could really have done with recording and editing for both of my online brands. I did not have it in me. I had a lot of episodes of Grey's Anatomy in me. I've had a lot of chocolate in me. I did not have hustling for my businesses in me. And so I didn't. I had a lot of tears in me as well. They needed to come out. That's fine. You know, that's what I did yesterday. Yesterday evening, I sat on my sofa and I cried. My girls are with their dad. I had a window. I used it. Okay? But yeah, really do allow your body to say, I need to slow down. Listen to it and follow that advice. And then we have all the perimenopause supplements. What an industry, right? I am very conservative. And I mean, I am very conservative when it comes to supplements. I have to be. I live with an overactive thyroid disorder, which is not very common and certainly not in women our age. If we do have thyroid disorders at our age, they tend to be an underactive thyroid disorder. But regardless, people with thyroid disorders, there are certain things they should not be taking. Me with an overactive thyroid, I should not touch ashwagandha. And I know that it is super popular as a supplement out there. And if you're using it, please do tell me about it because I'm curious to know what your experience of it is. But I should not touch ashwagandha because it can affect the thyroid. The same with soy. I know that my thyroid is soy reactive. One of my big thyroid flare-ups came after a period of ingesting a lot of soy products because I was doing a very severe food intolerance diet to try and see what it was that was messing with my body. And then I stopped the soy as well, and that was my next big thyroid flare-up. So I know that if I take soy, my thyroid gets a bit hypo, a bit low. And then if I stop taking soy, I risk another flare-up of my hypothyroidism. So I can't do that. I can't touch soy. And all the supplements out there contain soy, don't they? I do think that a good multivitamin is definitely the way forward. I use Well Woman multivitamins, again for my thyroid because that's the only one that doesn't contain iodine. That's another one I have to be careful with. And Well Woman do a perimenopause multivitamin, which contains iodine and soy. So I just stick to the original. Magnesium is a really good supplement, but not magnesium calcinate, not the cheap magnesium tablets. They don't do anything. You want the citrate or the glycinate. I think there are 7 different kinds of magnesium that all do slightly different things. Citrate, it helps you sleep. And it helps with restless legs and aches and pins and needles in your legs when you're trying to sleep. So definitely that. Vitamin D is really good. All the different B vitamins. This is why I go for just a good multi, right? And then the other supplement that I take that I feel is perimenopause related, but not really, is, what's it called? Did anyone mention brain fog? Pumpkin seed oil capsules, and I take that because I'm shedding hair like crazy in perimenopause, and they really help. They're amazing. That's actually made a huge difference to my hair. It doesn't do anything to anything else but my hair. Oh my god. Not that you can see it at the moment, because again, today I'm comfy, my hair is in a ponytail. It would probably really appreciate a hair wash, but that's gonna have to wait. I know the supplement market is booming, but as I say, I'm really cautious. But what are you using? A lot of people swear by collagen, a lot of people swear by, is it creatine? But do they help the periods? I don't think they do. Black cohosh is one I've heard about, but I've not tried. Is there anything out there that you have tried that helps with your periods? For me, that has been hormone replacement therapy. Getting the estrogen and the progesterone has leveled out my PMS. For quite some time, it leveled out my cycle length, but as I say, lately it's doing nothing for it. And adding testosterone to my regime has done wonders to my mood. So again, that has really helped with the PMS, like the irritability and the anxiety and the snappiness, all of that. Testosterone's been amazing for, and testosterone's been just a real boost when it comes to having lust for life. It's really not just for libido, it is lust for life, and having the get up and go, that's really worked for. I would like to do an episode on just testosterone, because I think it is a seriously misunderstood hormone, so let me know if you want me to do that. I'm having a lot of questions for you today. And then I don't need to tell you, try to go to bed at the same time every night, try to have a good night's sleep, try to go out for a walk, maybe do some yoga, do a stretch or two. Like, we're not going down the route of patronizing. You all know this. You know what to do, you know what to eat, you know how to sleep, and then life happens, right? So let's not be ridiculous. That's what I have to say about periods. It's just, regardless of what your period decides to do while you're in perimenopause, it is all normal, and we're just gonna have to ride this one out. I hope this has been informative. I hope it's been a little bit of fun, and well, everything that I've mentioned throughout this episode, all the links are in the description, and I will speak to you again soon. From ashes